Recovery resources pouring in from across the country, including from right here in the Bay Area. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meebach. Tonight, Texas authorities confirming at least 110 people are dead. 161 others reported missing. Flash flooding swept through 6 different counties in the state's hill country early in the morning of the 4th of July. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says that number of missing persons jumped after the state established a hotline for families to call. And more on the devastation and search efforts from Fox's Connor Hansen live tonight in Kerr County. Connor?
Mike, the focus here is still on search and rescue, finding so many of those victims you just mentioned. And we've been watching first responders trying a variety of different tactics here. We're standing on the banks of the Guadalupe River, where we've seen fan boats, helicopters up ahead, even state troopers flying drones just a few moments ago here. But the officials here in this area are facing a lot of questions about exactly what happened Friday morning in the hours leading up to that flood.
Days after floodwaters swept through central Texas, rescue teams are riding on horseback to navigate the difficult terrain and debris left behind.
Just in the Kerr County area alone, there are 161 people who are known to be missing.
President Trump says he plans to visit Texas on Friday to see the devastation firsthand.
There's never been a wave like this outside of the breaking of a dam.
Several children at Camp Mystic, an all-girls Christian camp, remain unaccounted for. Many counselors had to guide their young campers in the middle of the night to safety.
So you had 100+ children that were up there watching this water rise almost to the second floor and seeing the water, continue to come up in a way that is it's unimaginable.
Local officials are facing scrutiny over why camps were not alerted sooner or evacuated ahead of the floods. Flash flood warnings were issued just after 1 a.m. Friday morning, but some officials say they weren't notified that the Guadalupe River was rising until around 4 a.m.
Prior to that, in that 3 to 4 area, my understanding is, and we're in the process of trying to put a timeline. That's going to take a little bit of time.
And now Texas officials, including Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, are saying they'd like to see sirens installed up and down the Guadalupe River that could warn people ahead of any future flash floods. Mike?
And Connor, you mentioned about the flash flood warnings that were issued. Did officials tell you how those warnings were actually sent out, especially at Camp Mystic, where cell service, may be spotty, if anything?
Well, I think that was one of the biggest issues. Along this river, there are areas that are pretty remote and have extremely spotty cell service, if any. There were some watches and warnings last Thursday, but the first serious alert for those flash floods went out early Friday morning, a little bit after 1 a.m. Now, it's a little iffy on the timeline of exactly who was notified and who in leadership, both locally and in the state, made these decisions. Local officials said today they're working out that timeline, but still saying their focus at the moment is trying to get to all of these victims who unfortunately are looking at dimmer and dimmer prospects here.
Connor Hansen with the very latest out of Kerr County, Texas. Connor, appreciate it. Thank you. Tonight, friends and family of a Marin County family missing in those Texas floods are gathering for a prayer service in Kentfield. Mark Walker, his wife Sarah, and their son Johnny have not been heard from since the flash flood. Their 16-year-old daughter was able to escape. The daughter is a student at Marin Catholic High School in Kentfield. Her brother is set to be a freshman at MC starting in the fall. Resources are pouring into Texas to help with the search and relief efforts, including from right here in the Bay Area. Menlo Park Fire says it is sending 5 people, including 2 firefighters, plus a couple of canines to Texas. They're expected to be there for 2 weeks. Now, in addition to Menlo Park, Cal OES announced new urban search and rescue team members from LA County, Riverside City, and Orange County fire departments.
The resources that Texas has requested and we are sending are specialized in the urban search and rescue environment. In the event of a collapsed building, maybe from an earthquake, these teams come in and they have specialized training.
The Oakland Fire Department has already deployed some fire officials to the state of Texas. And if you want to help victims of the Texas flooding, you can scan that QR code right there on your screen. It will take you to a page with information on how to donate to nonprofit groups that are helping flood victims. You can also find this information on the Fox Local app.